Hey everyone, it's Michael. Today I'm going to be talking about R.L. Stine. This is a new series, by the way, I'm starting right now. Not a series that I'm going to go burning through, but this is part of the series I'm currently reading, and it's a new book in a series that I haven't read before. This is my first time reading one of these books. This is R.L. Stine's Goosebumps Presents TV book number 15, Monster Blood. Back in the day, for anybody who doesn't know what this is, essentially the TV show came out. The TV show was wildly popular, and they did about 18 books, 17, 18 books in total, where they would basically take the 20-minute episodes of a TV episode of Goosebumps, an adaptation of the books, and they would make like a short novelization of the episodes. And they didn't do this for many. Again, they only did like 17 or 18. And they're real thin, real thin compared to a typical Goosebumps book. This is only 60 pages long. It has a few pages in here, about 8 in total, of color photos from the TV episode, which I thought was cool. It kind of spoils the story a little bit of what comes next, which is kind of weird. I don't know if this is the only one that does that, or if all of them do that, or what. But TV book number 15, Monster Blood. I'm currently reading through the Monster Blood books right now. I wanted to essentially talk about this just because I'm reading the Monster Blood books. I wanted to read this before I read book 4. I don't know why. I just wanted to. This is essentially, like I said, a novelization of the TV episode. The first TV episode, not the 2. It's a 2-parter, technically. It's only based on the first episode, before the one that's not on a plane. This is loosely based, and the episode was loosely based, around the original book, which was, I think, the 3rd book of the original classic 62-book era of Goosebumps. And the original Monster Blood, in my opinion, I recently read it, I'm not a fan of that first book. It is just as bland and just okay as it could possibly be. It was a really big disappointment, especially when I read Monster Blood 2 and 3, and I thought those were a whole lot better. And this book itself, I think, is a lot better. I love the 2 TV episodes. I really like both of those Monster Blood adaptations, or they're really not even adaptations. They're kind of their own thing. This book, like I said, is very loosely based, and so is the episode, on that original book. It's very different. Even the aunt in the actual story is not deaf like she is in the original novel that R.L. Stine wrote. But if you don't happen to know the story of Monster Blood, or at least the TV episode one, essentially a young boy named Evan is going to live with his aunt for a little while his parents go to find a house, and it's like in a different state and stuff. So he might be there for like a week or so, or a few days. We don't really know entirely how long he's going to be there. And this aunt is very wild and weird and eccentric. She plays a lot of loud orchestral classic music that she likes to dance around the room and pretend she's conducting with a little wand and everything. It's real weird. And it's even weirder and more fun when you watch it on the actual episode. I think the episode is better than the book, just for the record. I have a feeling it's probably going to be like that more than often. Because these are basically word for word the TV episodes. Very few things I saw in here that were different. Maybe 1 or 2 things out of the whole 60-page, essentially short story and not an actual novel. The pacing is very quick. If you're familiar with the Goosebumps TV show, you know how rushed the episodes feel. This is the very kind of same concept. These books already, from this one that I've read, which is a later book, so it might be different when the earlier books when I read those. But this later book feels very rushed. It's like from point A to point B real quick. Like within 15 pages you're already talking about Monster Blood. And essentially, for anybody who doesn't know what Monster Blood is, if this for whatever reason happens to be your first Monster Blood book review from me or from anybody, if you've never heard of Monster Blood, essentially Evan, when he's staying with his aunt, he is told not to go in the room across the hall from his room that he'll be staying in. And this particular room across the hall, even though it's forbidden, he goes into it anyway and finds a lot of cobwebs, a lot of dust and dirt. Somebody may have stayed in here at some point. He doesn't really know, but it looks like it's been a while. Lots of spiders and stuff are hanging around in there. But he happens to find a glass jar at one point after he meets a friend named Andy, a girl in the local neighborhood who's pretty cool too. Not as cool as the Andy in the books, by the way. I don't know if I said that in my TV episode review, but it's the same thing. I really like the actress in the TV show episode, but I think Andy in the books is way better. Even in the first book, I think she's better than she is here in this particular book or the TV episode. But Andy's still cool. Andy was fine. Whatever. But they find a little jar in there that's labeled Monster Blood inside of this cabinet on a shelf itself. and it's like this green goopy slime stuff, like the slime stuff people used to play with in the 90s that's kind of become popular again, and now it's kind of dying out again. I guess we'll see that in like another 20 years, I don't know. But they start messing with it. Apparently it's warm, which is real gross. It's almost like you would like think it's like a jar of thick pee. You know, it's pretty disgusting. Anyway, let's change the topic. So they start messing around with it, and they realize it grows and grows and grows. It's a very dangerous situation, but it's also very bouncy. If you take it out of the container and you roll it up into a ball and you bounce it, it's going to go everywhere, all over the room. So it's kind of fun. It's a fun, sillier book. But like I said, the TV episode, in my opinion, has that ultimate Canadian cheesiness and charm to it that really makes it special. And that's what made the TV episodes of the shows, of the old Goosebumps books and stuff, so fun. I love the TV episodes because even if they're bad, they're like charmingly bad. Where you can make fun of them, but you can also be kind of creeped out depending on what episode we're talking about. Monster Blood is a fun episode. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite, but it's good. It's good compared especially to the old original TV series. This particular book is not horribly written. And by the way, it's not written by R.L. Stine. It's actually adapted by Elizabeth Winfrey from the teleplay written by Rick Drew, of course, that was based on the R.L. Stine book. I don't think she did a bad job. It kind of reads like a typical Goosebumps book, aside from the very quick pace that's going on. I think for what she got with the script and the way the TV episode was, I think she did a pretty decent job kind of narrowing down how to make the tone of Goosebumps fit for a TV episode novelization. It worked for me. So good job on Miss Winfrey. I don't really have much more to say about this. This is fine. The color pictures are kind of cool. I don't super recommend this. If you can find a copy of it for pretty cheap, maybe you'll think it's worthwhile, especially if you're a big Monster Blood fan. If you're a Monster Blood fan, whether it be of the TV episode or whether it be of the books themselves, I recommend it. It's okay. It's a fun read. Again, it's not my favorite thing ever, but it's good for what it is. It's definitely better than the first original Monster Blood book from R.L. Stine, in my opinion. If I had to rate the Goosebumps Presents TV book number 15, I always forget the number, that's why I had to look at it. Number 15, Monster Blood, on a 5-star basis, I'd probably give this about a 4 out of 5 stars. It was fun, it's enjoyable, has a silly nature, it's a little rushed, like I said, about 60 pages long, it flies by. But it was, oh god, I dropped it already. It's cool. I liked it. I thought it was fun. Definitely better than the first book, like I said. But anyway, what are your thoughts on the TV books? What are your thoughts on the original Monster Blood or the TV episodes themselves from the old TV show? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, guys. Especially with the more wild and weird and rarer books, like the TV books and stuff. I always like hearing people's thoughts on these particular books, if they've read them. If you've read them is what I meant. But anyway, thank you for watching. May the Lord Jesus Christ bless you guys today, and goodbye.